Hello everyone, my name's Suhail K. I'm a creative producer and I've grown my practice looking at different forms of migration culture over the years. I've also been working in lots of different venues, museums and galleries, producing work which has a very kind of unique alternate offer as a response to our research, which is universal, as you'll find out in a few seconds. The theme of migration is greatly influenced my work since I was a child. I grew up in Britain. My parents came over, migrated from South Asia to Britain, settled locally in Manchester, and kind of as a response, different kind of experiences of migration started impacting on my everyday life. So it's a response to the kind of cultural needs of people, but also the need to find out a lot more about why we are migrating, what makes us move, whether it's economical, cultural, social, technological. There's a range of different drivers which really kind of push us forward. I think over my lifespan, my main kind of thematic, I would say, or very broad thematic, has been music culture. So a lot of the music I've been listening to over the years, whether it's the basic right through towards today's kind of like differing kind of mashups of distinct kind of like cut and paste culture. There's a lot there, and that's why we've developed specific projects to look at alternate cultures and universes. One of the artists which we know about is called Sun Ra, the creative maverick, a jazz maverick, who's 103 years old this year. Unfortunately, he's not alive, but he is the project we developed and work with a range of different artists, from musicians to designers to creative makers, producers, to actually produce an event, and also research at the University of Manchester. So we ended up in this kind of very kind of intense period of development of new rapid prototypes, which were based on a form of migration, the story of Sun Ra, this individual who was plucked from the Americas and then given this universal kind of blessing from the angels from Saturn. Basically, he unfolded a different form of experience because this story is magnetic. It brings people to him. It's a journey, a new form of migration, which is unbelievable because it's a transcendental story. It's a form of reincarnation. It's a form of kind of like push to find the new divine. This form of kind of creative entrepreneurship, because the kind of philosophy and the decades of work he's produced, we can look at that and examine that, but also there's this very intense kind of rich seam of culture and response in relation to, as we stand today, in the Egyptian galleries, to do with the early gods, the kind of how that influence has shaped Sun Ra's kind of like being, and what kind of response we could look at has been part of our research. So it's a huge range of different things going on, and I will say environmental, again technological, the culture, the artwork, and also the kind of the references to the elder gods, as we know in ancient Egypt. Sun Ra being that kind of formation, two different experiences coming together to create that name. And then the making of the music through the Sun Ra Orchestra, this eternal universal quest to create the perfect beats, to kind of like analyse and deconstruct living the modern day, the universe, but also kind of looking at the cosmos in the widest sense possible, but also looking at the spirit of independence and how we actually grow from there. And I think in relation to the Egyptian story, it is a lot of the stories I've encountered over my lifetime has been about internal truths, the eternal spirit, the eternal truths, and the movement of people migrating, which is a very modern day experience of migration, or as we can change that around a bit and call it refugee, because we've had a range of different experiences of people, in the oceans, these alternate universes, and it kind of sparks a new strand of work from ourselves, which looked at if you were a refugee from outer space and landed on planet Earth, what story would you like to tell us as people about your experience? Pick a music track. And we had such a wide response from lots of key individuals like Malcolm Garrett, to Douglas Field at the University of Manchester, to Graham Massey, the musician, to a whole heap of musicians talking about these different tracks and the different experiences. Malcolm Garrett selected Starman by David Bowie because that experience of being a refugee on Earth and what was going on there. So, there's a range of different drivers there.